Good morning everybody, it's Eleanor here from The Love of Stitches on this fine, lovely, sunny Wednesday morning. You can find me here on YouTube and also on Instagram under the same name. So welcome to my channel, all about cross stitch and my love of samplers and all things stitched. So it's nice to see you all. Welcome to my new subscribers and welcome back to those that have been watching me before. I hope you enjoy. Right then, so today I've still got glare in my glasses, which is really annoying, so I do apologise about that. I've closed the curtains. It's bright sunshine outside. We haven't had rain for about 3 weeks, so it's a bit, yeah, must be whatever. So today what am I going to do? I am going to go through the couple of pieces that I've worked on in the last week, and I thought I'd look at my Bristols, seeing how it's the Bristol weekends, last weekend and next weekend over at the attic. So jealous, I really wish I could go. So I thought I'd just show you what I've got in the Bristol line, as it were, and let's take it from there, shall we? So what have I been working on? So when you saw me last week, I was in Bonnie, Scotland, in Port William. Yeah, Port William, not Fort William. Two different places. So Port William is a beautiful fishing village in Dumfries and well, it's Wigtownshire, and it's on Loose Bay, which is a really big bay, and yeah, beautiful. We really love it there. So if you didn't guess, and if you managed to follow me on Instagram, you would have seen some beautiful photographs from there as well. So, and yeah. And last week's video, even though it was short and sweet, if you listen carefully, you could hear all the birds in the background, which does sound lovely during the day, but not at 3:30 in the morning. We had one bird 3:30 in the morning. I don't know what type of bird it was, but it was outside our bedroom window and it was noisy every morning. But this is what you get when it's better than sirens and fireworks and helicopters going over, I suppose. But there we go. Right then, so what have I worked on in the last week since I last spoke to you? So last week I took the model stitch and I haven't worked on her since last Wednesday. And I was also working on Anton. So you saw where she was last week, and there we go. I've seen her loads of times. My book's starting to get a bit dog-eared. So I have been working down that, ow, I've just hurt my elbow on my little tray that's there. That one side, and I did a few more of the flowers. So let's, so there she is in her entirety. And so, there we go. I've been working down this side. So last week I had finished this one and I'd just done the stalk of this flower here. So I finished that one, next one down, and then half finished that one there. So she is looking really good. So we're on 40 count caffeole with all the called for DMC threads. There we are. Got them all on a ring. There we go. So I will be going back to her next month because I'm trying to work on 5 days at a time on each project, which is working out really good. So I've got 5 projects, working on them for 5 days, which is 25 days a month. And then anything extra, one of the projects, if you watch the Yorkshire Dolly mixtures, you will see that we do a roll the dice, which we have 12 projects, and whatever the dice rolls as, we number them 1 to 12. We've got a 12-sided dice, and we roll the dice once a month, and whatever it comes out, you work on that for the, you know, part of the month. So we just fetch it into our 5 of 5, and then at the end of the month we also work on the roll the dice, which could be up to 6 extra days. So I hope all that made sense, just to me. So pop that away there. So we've worked 5 days on her. Now next in my rotation, my 5 of 5 rotation, was my roll of dice. Just to give you an idea, I've got my diary here. So there we go. So we've got the roll of dice. So we've got last year's and this year's. So for this year, there we go. And you can see the months at the side. And for June, we rolled number 6, and it is my Spirit of Verlander. So, and I'm thinking, Spirit of Verlander, yeah, fair enough, needs 5 days. But I've also got to stitch a small for our meet-up next Saturday, and I've still not done it. Anyway, thought I did one day on Spirit of Verlander, and I thought I really need to bring that small forward just in case. So I would show you, but it's a surprise. So I brought it forward and managed to stitch half of it last night, which is good. So up to press on Spirit of Verlander. Okay, I have managed to fill in the whole of the border, which is good. So the whole border is finished, and I've got about 15% to go. So I need to try and get her finished as soon as possible this month. So I'm really pleased with her. The fabric I'm using, if I remember rightly, it's a fabric by Zweigart, and it was called Zobia, but I can't find it anymore. But it is 40 count, and I'm using a Silks For You, which I'm sure I've shown you before. There we go. So we finished that full border. So I'm really pleased with how she's looking. So fingers crossed we can get finished. And I did start on some of the lettering at the top there before I finished the border. I've been working on this section here as well. So I'm just so glad the border met up. There we go. So I haven't bought anything over the last week apart from a new diary for next year. So for some reason I like the academic diaries. So this is this year's, which is really good. There's lots of, give you an idea of what I've been doing, filling bits in. And yeah, you've got loads of space to write stuff down. At the beginning of every month, there we go, I've got my 5 of 5, as well as my roll the dice in there as well, which is Spirit of Verlander. No, it isn't. Roll the dice is, yeah, it is this month. I'm losing it, aren't I? And I do like these books. And you've also got, you know, the hand as well. So if we look at for June, there we go. So I've got my Scotland, my daughter's stepson's birthday. Oh, and tomorrow. It's Murray's birthday tomorrow, and it's also mine and Duncan's wedding anniversary. So, been married a whopping 32 years. I get less for murder. But anyway, 32 years. So, it's a long time, although we've been together 37. So, we're doing all right. So, doing very well indeed. So, anyway, I digress. Again, what a surprise. So, diary, that's this year's. And yesterday I got the new one. So, this will start in August. And I will be filling in all my stitching goals in here. We aim to go on as we try, but there we go. So August is ready for me to start filling in. Let's get through July 1st, shall we? So this will be the 3rd or 4th year I've been getting these diaries, and they're by Box Clever. So they are really nice, and they're just the right size to throw in a handbag. We call them handbags over here in the UK. I do know in the States they call them purses, but it's a handbag. We call a purse something we hold our coinage and debit cards and notes in. So, shows you. So, when I was in Scotland last week, I was telling you about we've been to Wigton, and I was trying to explain about Agnes' husband, which was one of the smalls. Well, it's a little gem by Hands Across the Seas. So I've got her out for you to have a look at. She's a lovely little stitch. There we go. We've got all those reds and greens of a Scottish sampler, and we do have some darker colours here. When the little girl stitched these samplers and put the initials on of relatives, if they're in a darker colour like this, it indicates that when the sampler was stitched that they'd actually passed away. So there we go. And I was lucky enough to start this in Scotland, where a couple of years ago, I think it was in 2021, so it's 2 years ago, our first holiday, sort of like within the pandemic, we'd gone to Kirkcudbright, which is in Dumfries and Galloway again. We stayed there for the week for my birthday, and then we made our way through to Wigton to try and locate the headstone, the family grave of the husbands, which we did, which was really interesting. Although the way the granite was, it was really hard to read. So they'd actually used a granite rather than stone. There we go. So I hope you like Agnes' husband. She is still available on the Hands Across the Sea website as a PDF. And she's such a lovely stitch to do. And I did that within the week that we were in Scotland. It did help that week we had terrible rain, which is very unusual for my birthday. But there we go. So that's 1862, when she was 11. So yeah, I know I need to get some more stuff framed, but it's getting them on the walls, as you can see. That one over there as well. Getting them on the walls is murder, because we've got a south facing front room. We do get a lot of bright light. So there we go. And husband's not very good at DIY, but I didn't tell you that. It's a good job he plays my videos but doesn't really watch them. So right, so Bristol's. I don't have a lot in the Bristol sampler range, although I would like to expand my selection of Bristols and my red samplers, but I'm just going to go through the Bristol samplers. So if you don't know anything about Bristol samplers, they are from Bristol, and they're the Bristol Orphanage samplers, and there was a gentleman called George Muller that took in orphaned girls, and these were known as the Muller orphanages. And whilst the girls were there, they were taught how to stitch, and they prominently used red thread to stitch their samplers. And they are quite sought after these days. So first I will show you the one that I am working on currently. Then I'll show you the one that I've already finished, and then the one that I would like to stitch next once I've finished the one that I'm stitching. So the one that I'm stitching, you've all seen her before. And there we go, Mary 395. She is really, really big, really big. So I'm stitching her with, it's a Silks For You thread, and it's a beautiful, beautiful red, which I put into a yarn cake because it seemed easier at the time. And the number is PR057. And this is where I am so far on her. Here we go. If you can see that. So yeah, and I'm using 40 count Moral by Silks For You. Unfortunately, you can't get this anymore. But look at that. Oops, I'm showing you the back. There we go, that's better. So there's the front. It's a good job I've got a neat back, isn't it? There we go. And I can't wait to start getting to the motifs. There we go. So I've got to this point here at this side. So, but I really do need to finish the alphabets. So she's looking good. There we go. So all down here will be the, there we go. From that point onwards, it'll be all motifs. So she's a lovely stitch. And you can tell how big she's going to be. She's on a fat half. So nicely fold her back up and put her away for now. I think one week I'll also go through all my whips so you can actually see what I'm working on all at the same time. There's a fair few whips, and I think it would be a long video at that point. her back in her bag. There we go. So, oh, left my yarn out. My silk. So, and you people that visit in the attic, I'm so jealous. I really am. It is a place I would love to visit. And it's a shame we don't have anything like this in the UK. But anyway, so the one I've finished is Louisa Collymore. Here we go. Look at that. She's a beautiful, beautiful sampler. There we go. And you will notice there is a lot of similarities between the samplers. I'm really pleased with how she turned out. And again, she is on a Silks for You 0, 0, 0, 0. It might not even be 0, bear with me. Because I'm using the same thread for Maria. See if we've got it written down. PR126. Might as well show you Maria now I've got her out. She's not a Bristol sampler, but she's a lovely red sampler. There we go. And another big one as well. And I'm using the same thread that I used for Louisa Collymore. I'm actually using what was left. But that's where we are on. As you can see, she is quite long. There we go. You see the variegation on there. So, another beautiful red sampler. And I'm actually stitching this on 40 count Little Bunny by Extrude Designs. And it looks, with the red fabric on it, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I've dropped the booklet on the floor, so I'll retrieve that shortly. But yeah, so I'm using the same thread as I did for Louisa Collymore. So that's another red sampler, but not a Bristol. She's actually Italian, which is unusual for me. Normally Scottish or English samplers. And then the only one I've got in my collection, I'm sure I do have another one, but I think it's on a PDF. But anyway, we've got Mary Hillier. Sorry about the glare. And you can see the similarities. You've got the Bible there, the crown, the similar motifs. And there is a couple more that Hands Across the Sea do. Harriet Salt, and there's another one that's two sisters. So I may need to add them to my collection at some point. So there we go. So I hope that I've not bored you too much this week. As I said, what I'd like to do in the future is maybe go through my whips and sort of like take it from there. I have loads of charts I could go through. You tell me what you want, what you really, really want. There's a song there somewhere. But hey ho. So, right, so what have I got on for the rest of the day? It's now going on for 9:15. The wash is on, so I need to hang the washing out, strip the beds, get those sorted, and then I've got work at 10 o'clock. So non-stop. I like my Wednesday mornings. I can get a loads done before I actually start work, whereas during the rest of the week I start work at 8 o'clock and I'm still trying to come round at 8 o'clock. But there we go. So please, 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 if you've not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think. Do I need to change anything? Do I need to? Just let me know. Okay. Or I'll just carry on like this and waffling on for half an hour every week. But I want you all to have a lovely stitching week, and fingers crossed we'll get some rain soon because our poor plants need it. It did say on Sunday and Monday we were supposed to have a thunderstorm, and we didn't get anything. Nada. Not a jot. Not even a single drop of rain. So it did go quite dark on Sunday at one point in the evening. Oh, excuse me, in the evening. But nothing. Not even a clap of thunder. So if you're in the UK, make the most of the sun. You never know when it's going to end. So I want you all to have a fantastic week. Fingers crossed, I will see you next Wednesday morning, same time, same place. And thank you for watching. Okay, take care everybody. Love you loads.